PhoenixTypewriter.com. We're going to show how to fix an IBM that is binding on the covers down here. So when you run this machine across here, you can hear it binding. It's catching right there on this side. There's a click. Clicking, and this side too. It's clicking when it comes back across here. Right there. It's rubbing, you can feel it. Okay. So we're going to take this cover out. We're going to show you how to unwarp it. It's warped. So stick your IBM tool in here. You release this cover. Release this side. Stick your fingers down in here. Pull it towards you. Move the cable, impression cable out of the way. Move the rotate tilt tables with your 2 forefingers. Lift this right on out of here. Alright, let's put this on this basket. Look at this cover. Trouble with this cover is it's warped. And it's just a little tweaked. So you can see the curve in the cover. And that's causing that end to hit and that end to hit. There are multiple things I do to fix these. One of them, quick, is, and I showed it on another video, was heat these little tabs up and bend them upward a little bit. That holds this down a little tighter. But there's 2 other things you can do. You can try to unwarp it, so you want to straighten it out like this a little bit. It's hard to do because it doesn't want to flex back. And another thing it does is warps. It puts more of a curve in here this way. So you want to flatten it out. But when you flatten it out, that does help in the clearance. But then you have to trim these tabs a little bit because the distance between here and there gets a little wider, and it doesn't really, it snaps in too tight, which also causes it to bow, causes it to flex, make more of a curve. So let's do our first trick, which is we're gonna try to flatten this a little bit. And what we're gonna use for that is a torch. And let me crank this thing up here. Now the key here is not to get it too hot, or you'll melt the plastic. But it can take some heat, and I kind of like to center the heat right, just in the center here. And just kind of slow warm it. Just kind of get it warm. I suppose you could stick this in the oven or something, but this works pretty well. And after it gets heated up, and I'm going to flatten it out with this. We're going to cool it off with some water. So, oops. Okay, I got my water ready. So this is getting pretty warm. Give it a couple more things here. See how warm it is. Nope, let me give it some more. Feels like it's getting hot, but okay, let's do it. So I'm just going to flatten this out like this. There we go. And it bends a little easier because it's warm, and let's cool it off. We can stop the warping process here. Let's there's a little air on here to make sure it gets cool. Okay, that's probably cool enough. Keep knocking the camera here, but okay. So it is already a little better. See that? Right, let me clean this thing off here. We'll show you the rest of the tricks on this. That might do it itself, but we're going to do a couple more things. Just, you can try that, put it back in and see how it works. But I'm going to show all the tricks here that I've got for this. Okay, next trick is to get a lighter. We're going to go ahead and bend these tabs. This is how you do this. So you heat this little tab up just a little bit. Just takes a few seconds with the lighter, and try to get it right on the pivot, right there. So that's where we want it to bend at. And when it gets hot enough, it'll just bend real easy. Don't heat it too much. There it goes. So let it cool. So now the tab is just a little bit bent. See how that's flat? That one's got a little bend to it. So let's just do this tab too. And this one's got a little more plastic here, so it takes just a little more heat to get this one to flex. Again, you gotta pace yourself on the heat. It'll melt it down and ruin it if you go too fast. So that's not enough. Okay, let's try this. Okay, it's bending and staying. Let's cool it off real quick. Okay, so now that tab's got a little angle, so it's not flat like that. See these two? Okay, next thing we're going to do is shave this edge off and make it have a little edge here so it won't bind. Take a little plastic off right here. So that just gives it a little bit of a approach angle. It's better. You really only got to do it where that mark is, because that's where the high point's at. And this side we're going to go crazy, and we're going to actually cut this tip off. This tip has a tendency to warp up pretty easy in the future, so we're just going to cut this tip right off right here. See that little mark right there? So we're just going to cut this tip from this corner over to here. For cutters, we'll do it, or a knife or anything will cut through this pretty easy. You'll never even notice it when it's in the machine. Okay, see that? Then we'll just trim this up a little bit with a blade or a grinding wheel, and again make this edge a little like a little angle. Just like that, so it's got a little approach angle, and that's it. So these are up, these are up. This is probably a little flatter than it was. So we're going to do one last thing to make this panel perfect. And we're going to shorten these tips. So these little latches, I'm just going to shorten it by not even a 1/16 of an inch, probably a 32nd of an inch. I'm going to do that with the thermal tool. We're just going to shave off a little bit of this plastic. Remove it and then just straighten up the edge. That's it, just a fraction. Just going to help when it comes to remounting this. Alright, let's straighten that out. That's it. Okay, that is gonna work. And I don't like this. We're gonna take the sticker off. And we're gonna clean this up with some lacquer thinner and make it perfect. Okay. Okay, so we got a cover. It's ready to go. It's all clean, looking Good, okay. So, cut the tip, flatten it out a little bit, also flatten it out this way a little bit, bent these corners up, heated them up and bent them, done the edges, and made these a little shorter. This is going to work for 20 more years in this machine. Let me get this down. We'll take a look how good it snaps in here. Okay, let's get this out of the way. Okay, got our new cover, cable out of the way, underneath the return cable, down in there, push the back in. The only thing with those little tabs up, you got to force it in there a little bit. There it goes, perfect. Down on this side, down on that side. Everything is good. When this comes back across, we're going to have no troubles. It's catching on this guy now a little bit right there. This one is below that line. You can see it. It's just below, which is good. And of course this side is completely clear now. So that's it. That's how you do that cover, and you can do the other side is probably not as warped as the that other side. So really, all we got to do here is trim this edge up. Raise the blade at. Let's get one. So where it catches is it's nicking right there. So let's just trim this. You can see where it catches right there. Just trim that up a little, take a little off. Clean this up a little. Let's do one. Let's go ahead and heat this one up. It's got, again, a little more material right there. So let's heat this up. Right. I'm going to get it heat right where my fingernail is right there. Again, don't let it melt down on you, just enough to when that starts, you're able to flex this a little bit. There it goes, see? And just bend it up a little, let it cool, hold it, let it cool. So now that tab it's got a little bit of a rise to it compared to that one or that one. And you know, just for fun, since I got it out, let's go ahead and heat this tab up and just give it a little bit of extra. Just give it a little extra clearance. It wasn't binding over there, but eventually it might start. Camera's just a little too close for comfort. Okay, let's do this. See if it bends. Yeah. Just bend it and hold it for a few seconds and it will cool. And it will become strong again. So yeah, that's not melted or anything. It's just got heated up and bent the tab up a little. Just leave that center one so that way it latches in there a little tighter. Alright, let's put it in there. Same process. Under the cable, rotate and tilt above and position it with your tool. That side already went in nice and smooth. All you gotta do is worry about the impression cable here. Get it where it belongs. Snap this side in. Now you can see the gap here is about even. That lowered that just a little bit. So it's gonna fly right over. Whoops. The tab on this one. Spring slipped. Nothing's catching. We're good. Clear for a while, I think. Alright. I'm going to leave those in there. This machine is ready to go. Alright, PhoenixTypewriter.com. Good day.